Dogecoin looks like it's breaking to the downside, or it broke to the downside this morning. The next levels that I'm looking at for possible support are this previous bottom right here sitting at around 14387, but I still have a limit order set at the 14 cent level, and it also lines up, or it's pretty close to the Fibonacci retracement level, the 61%, sitting at 13936. I got the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of the trend to the top of the trend. You get the Fibonacci retracement tool, drag from the bottom to the top, and that gives me levels to watch as it goes down. And the next one that's on the way down is the 61%, and I've been watching it for a long time if you watch my videos. But right now we're heading down. In my opinion, we're trending down, and the next spots that I'm looking at are the previous bottom and the Fibonacci retracement, as I said. And then I'm also looking at, if we continue to go down further than that, I'm looking at this previous bottom sitting at 12743. So this is the first step, second step, and then the third step, in my opinion. But I'm not sure when we're going to get a bounce, or if we're going to bounce even before then. I was also kind of looking at it. It kind of looks like almost like a head and shoulders pattern, something like that. It could do something like that as well. And this morning, this is what I was pretty much watching. We came up, we had a uptrend like this. We broke that going sideways. After that, I put a trend line on the top of it, and I put a trend line on the bottom of it. I said if we break one of these going to the upside or to the downside, then we could get more confident on our bullish targets or on our bearish targets. And we broke this one going to the downside. So like I said, the next targets that I'm looking at are the previous supports, the Fibonacci retracement lines. So yeah, I think the next stop is over here. But the other thing that I was looking at is we had this support or resistance. We had two lines that I was watching. Let's go ahead and delete this one because that was my target if we continue to break through. Let's go ahead and delete that one. And yeah, okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, we had the bodies, resistance, and we broke through that one, but we weren't able to close above it and continue to push through and break through these resistance right there, or the wicks, should I say, the trend line that the wicks drew. So I was saying if we could break through the one with the wicks, then we could get more confident on this target. We broke through this top that I was looking at. Like I was saying, I was looking at this top and this bottom. We broke through the top, but only for a little bit, and then came back down, and then started to come back down. We actually broke the trend line going to the downside. So yeah, next thing that I'm watching is previous bottom and the 14 cents at the Fibonacci retracement level. Let's go to the daily time frame real quick. Oh, this is the other thing that I wanted to talk about as well. In my previous video, I was talking about a W pattern, and now it looks like we're not gonna, I don't know, it doesn't really look like that pattern has really worked out, because we closed yesterday's candle, or today's candle should I say. This was Sunday's candle, and earlier today we were a green candle up here, I think when I made that video, but we came down, and when we closed the candle, we're actually below that trend line that I was watching, this previous support. We broke that previous support, so now we're getting a lower low, or we got a lower low on that candle anyways. Actually, well, in general, it's a lower low. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that W pattern that I was talking about, now we're not able, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to do that unless we pop straight back up and come back up here. But I don't think, I'm not looking at that W pattern as it's still possible pretty much, because we had to be green over here and continue that momentum moving to the upside, but we broke to the downside. And now I'm kind of curious more about that flag pattern that I was looking at before. We're not getting a lot of momentum though, so I don't think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be this crazy or not, but if we did start to get some crazy momentum, maybe 10 cents could also be in, it could be a possibility. I mean, like I said, the next level that I'm looking at is the Fibonacci retracement, the previous bottom, and then we could also be looking at this 78% level, the Fibonacci retracement at 11485. I think there was I think this top over here kind of lines up with that. So who knows how far it'll go down, but those are the levels that I'm looking at going to the downside. And as long as we are breaking trend lines going to the downside, then I'm going to continue to look at those targets. I also talked about the big trend line that I was looking at this morning. We have resistance, giving me a downtrend like this. I was hoping that we can go sideways, and maybe we still can. Maybe if we still go sideways, I think once we break that trend line going to the downside, once we break it going up, then I think we could get more bullish and start to target the previous Fibonacci retracement levels or the previous tops up here, try to break out of the Fibonacci retracement levels in general. Then we can, once we do, if we can break out of this that chart right there, then we can actually delete it, and we'll have to look at new trends and stuff like that. So but until then, we can keep it up and look for places that it'll possibly bounce at. Let's see if we could get some support on the Fibonacci retracement level, if we can continue to go down and not fulfill this bear flag pattern going all the way down here. Plus, it'd be good if we weren't getting lower. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how. I was gonna say it'd be better if we got like a higher low. Like, let's say this was the low and then this was the low over here, and we started to move up. It'd be nice if this over here was higher than this one over here, because then it'd be a higher low, as opposed to if it comes down here and then it'll be a lower low. I mean, I guess you could argue, you know, sometimes in like a falling wedge or something like that, that wouldn't be that horrible, something like that, if it did boom, 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 and then kind of broke out. But yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at. Like I said, that downtrend, once we break this downtrend going to the upside, then it'll be a good signal. And then you could also probably do another one, something like this. It looks like we kind of are still under this one pretty much. Looks like we're kind of coming into contact with it right now, and I'm getting pushed to the downside. So this is another one that we can probably watch. Looks like we have like kind of two to break. We have resistance and resistance, and then we had resistance and resistance, one trend line and then two trend lines. So yeah, let's keep an eye out. And I really don't think that 14 cents looks like it's gonna be hard to get to now, even though that I've been waiting for it for a while. Let's see if it does though, unless this bottom right here finds support and it bounces to the upside. The other thing you could do, I guess, is in the 1 hour time frame, we can get a trend line and do something like this. And if that breaks this trend line going to the upside, like maybe it'll do something like that, then possible change in direction. We've been seeing that pretty often lately, especially if you go to like the 5-minute time frame and stuff like that. You can see when it's going to change direction. This 1 minute time frame, or 1 hour, it looks like it formed a nice little trend though. Resistance, resistance, resistance. There's a nice little trend line. Let's see how long we can go down. Hopefully we can at least hit 14, then maybe get a bounce. That's what I've been saying. That's what I was saying on this one too, but we got a bounce before then, so let's see what happens. All right, if you guys like the video, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.